So yeah, so we were going to discuss about the steps that are going to be there, like from your selection process, and what is the selection process would be like, So like suppose, acha, I'm audible again. Everyone can hear me and the screen is visible. Okay, okay. So thank you for your patience again. So yeah, so like suppose there is some student, who is looking for an internship, So what usually we have in mind, we know as a student we are studying some technology, we are during our courses, So like suppose, some person could be interested in full stack web development, or somebody could be interested in mobile app development, maybe IoT and robotics, or someone might be interested in AI, ML, or data science, and so on, So the first step for in this internship process was to choose your technology, the things, all the steps that you have followed, or that you have followed while filling the form, depending on your interest, you you chose the technology and the domain, है ना? And then after that, after choosing the technology, what we you have to go through a test, depending on the level of expertise that you have that you have shown, like there were three levels, some of some person like who is applying, they may be advanced users, some may be intermediary, say some may be at a beginner level, so depending on uh, depending on the depending on the expertise of the student that they have interested, what we have done, we have bifurcated in them into these three groups, so depending on your expertise, you will have to go through a screening process, screening process is nothing but a very small test, which you all have to give, so that test would be like of 30 minutes, which will have MCQ type questions, multiple choice questions, and those questions will be related to the domain that you have shown interest in. So if you qualify, if you get the minimum, or if you match the minimum criteria that we have, to get the free internship, you will be offered, you'll be offered the free internship, and then after that, after suppose you have qualified for the test and you are there in the merit list, then what? Then according to the technology that you have chosen, you will be selecting an industry, because like every technology, that we see, and the technology is a general term, but but these technologies have special use cases in the industry, where the skill gap lies is like we know the tech, we know all the tech stack, like beginning from the databases to your data structures to your algorithms, everything we know, but we don't know how these things are implemented in the industry and in the real world, so for that, according to your selection of the domain, you can select an industry of your choice, again, in which you are interested. So like suppose there is a person who is interested in in full stack web development, and he qualified the test and have been offered the internship, and then what they can do, they can choose a domain, they can choose an industry of their interest, like some person could be interested in knowing how full stack development, these tech stack, the MERN stack, is applied in e-commerce domain, or how this the same thing is implemented in fintech and so on. Similar is the case with AI. So suppose if a person applies, and they qualify the screening process, so after they qualify the screening process, again they can choose the use case according to the industry of the choice, and then after choosing the industry, they will be picking up as use case. Basically, use case here is basically the project that they will be doing. So like suppose if we talk about, let's say, AI, so AI has implementation in so many industries. These industries could be ranging from e-commerce to fintech to agri-tech to your education, and so on. So inside the education, so suppose if somebody chooses education, so inside the education, the edtech industry, again there will be many use cases, so like suppose if you are in edtech, let's take an example. And like, suppose you have to make a chat box which responds to the queries of the students, you could be making something like that, or you could be making a project, this could be a requirement like to generate the analytics of the students, to measure their performance, to measure whether they are learning or not, to measure the outcome of their course, and whether whatever they are doing, uh, that could be measured, those parameters, and then presented to them, for further analysis or for remedial purposes and so on. It may be shared with the educator or with the student or whoever, or whichever party is interested. So these are some of the use cases, in a particular industry like edtech. You know, if we talk about fintech, suppose, so in fintech, suppose AI could be used for detecting your credit frauds, that happen, or for looking at what you can say, suppose if you want to figure out who is going to default, who the defaulters would be, so that is another use case, or you might have seen like, suppose if you have ever used a credit card, so when your payment is due, when your payment is due, usually you start receiving your automated voice calls, which come to remind you of the pending dates, and the pending amount that you need to pay on a specific date. So again, that is again, this process can be done manually, but again, AI could be used to automate this whole thing, and then also generate and also to perform analytics on that. So these are some of the small use cases that exist inside a given industry. So what you will be doing during the summer, after you have chosen your technology of choice, then after you have chosen, suppose, the industry, and inside that industry, you have chosen a use case. Use case will be the list of projects which are available. These projects that you will be given. These are the real projects that that have been provided with our industry partners, whom with we are partnering in this summer internship. So you would be working on those use cases, but again, the thing is, like, suppose if a person is a beginner, so how will a beginner how would a beginner be able to build that project, so obviously, if you are a beginner or at intermediate level, obviously you're going to need support in form of your mentorship or your learning material or guidance, or making the guided projects, the demo projects, making it live with the mentors, or maybe interaction with the industry expert, so these are the things which are required by the person, who is at a beginner level or at any level, to understand or to implement or to build that project end to end, to understand the whole pipeline and then build it. So for that, so I think I received one question regarding that, like sort of said, I have zero knowledge about AI and ML, will I continue watching? So okay, so suppose if a person does not know AI, if he has no knowledge of AI, so basically what you have, so that person would be in the beginner category, so the beginners, what you'll have to do, you will be first learning the tech, so for that specific project, whatever tech stack is required, whatever technology is required, that learning content will be provided to you, and it will be expected from you that you complete, that you will be, though that learning content could be in form of recorded videos, recorded courses, or live classes on weekends or weekdays, that will be again tentative, how it will be, but for surely you'll be getting you'll be getting the learning content first of all, Acha, to ensure that you learn everything, what you have to do, just watching the video is not going to help, so while you will be provided the videos or the lessons or the live classes, along with that, you will have to make some projects, to implement that learning into practical, so you would be making two projects, one which would be minor and one would be major. And along with these minor and major projects, you will be again given assignments. You will have to complete the assignments that will be given to you. These assignments would be based on the content that will be provided. So you have to watch the content or attend the live classes if they are available, and then complete those assignments and build the minor project under the guidance of the expert or the mentor who will be taking your, who would be giving you support. And then after you are done with these two, you are done with these two, you will have to make your capstone project, and that capstone project would be nothing but the problem statement that you have chosen at the beginning, है ना, you will have to implement it, you have to code it, है ना, and obviously you will suppose if you get stuck somewhere, and so live mentorship from the experts would be available, है ना. Those experts could be your mentors who are taking your classes, or they could be our partners, है ना? They could be the industry, they could be the professionals who are working in the companies that we are partnered with. You can interact with them, है ना, in the live sessions, you know, and after you have successfully built and implemented your project, you know, and you have given that, and you have given a presentation on that, and and your mentor or the expert is satisfied with it, you will be awarded certificates, you know. So those certificates would be what, you know, the certificates would be ranging from your internship certificate, in internship completion certificate, if you so if you complete everything successfully, then your project completion certificate. You know, many people might be very bright, you know, or in the same batch, some people may be laborious, they would be hard workers, so obviously they should be rewarded, so you'd be awarded a merit certificate as well, and then certificate of program completion, and obviously the letter of recommendation that you might be getting from the experts under whose guidance you were working. You know, so these experts are actually working in the company on whose project or the use cases you are working on. So you can get a recommendation from them, and on the basis of that recommendation, it may turn into a PPU as well, and you can convert this internship into a pre-placement offer as well. You know, so these are the opportunities for you. Okay, and okay. So, for example, let me show you just to demonstrate what kind of project you would be making. So, like while building a project, there are a lot of things that you need to take care of. You know. So again, somebody is asking a question. What will the pay scale for PP opportunity? That will be dependent on your performance. So usually your PPO would be, again, if you are if you are recommended by the expert, it will be according to the industry standard. So different domains have different standards in the industry, so it would be equivalent to that. Okay. Okay, so let me show you just for demonstration, what kind of project you might be working on. So just give me 1 second. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Can you all see this project title? Okay. So suppose, for example, let's take an example of the application of artificial intelligence in education industry. Suppose if you have to make something on that. So see, so first of all, your project. Let's discuss its structure. You will see that your project will have some problem statement, and it will have a title. Then obviously that project would be related, that would be using some technology, so the technology would be there, and then its use case in the industry. So here, suppose, so here what we have built actually, this is a project that we built, and so here what we have done, like there was this demand from, there was this requirement for the client. They needed to build a chat bot, like suppose, when the admission season comes, you all must have seen this. When the admission season comes, the amount of communication that that the admission department gets, that the admission department of a university gets, that many times overwhelms them. The amount of communication and the number of staffs that they have, that becomes unproportional. So because of that, it becomes very hard for them to respond to everybody, to respond to the queries that they're receiving, and even if they respond, that might not be timely. And because of this, what happens? the prospect, the prospects who are ready to take admission or to enroll in the courses, they might not complete that they might not complete the filling of the form, of the admission form. And if they do not fill the form, then what happens? That is a loss for the university, because if you complete the admission form, obviously you'll be paying the application fee. So that revenue is lost, just because they were not able to communicate to them in a given amount of time, or the question or the query of the person, of the prospect was not answered. So for this, there's a very good use case of AI. So we all have seen chatbots. We all have interacted with the chatbots in our day-to-day life, like if you're using Zomato, or Swiggy. If you need help, instead of directly connecting to the customer care executive, what it takes, they have these bots built which answer your common questions. So 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 even if the number of staff is less, so by automating this process, what will happen? General queries, would be answered, and if the general queries are answered, then what will happen? The actual queries which require human intervention, those will be filtered out. And because of that, like suppose if the department is receiving 1,000 communications a day, they might have to they might this query would get filtered down to, let's say, 100 or 150, which they can easily handle with the amount of staff that they had. So here we were in this project, what you had to build, we had to build a chatbot, which prompted it, which promptly gives the information to any person who is asking about, or who is inquiring about about anything related to the admission or the registration or the available majors or the admission policies. Because these are the most common queries which are generated by the users, and this was seen. So so to solve this, so obviously this was the problem statement, so the solution which was implemented, was to build a chatbot which is capable of answering these common queries. So obviously to make this chatbot, you would require a tech stack. So so for the tech stack, but before you actually decide on the tech stack, the thing is you have to be very clear of the objectives, like exactly what your solution is going to do. You cannot be very general, you have to be specific. So when you're solving any problem in the industry, the first thing that happens, in the process of building the solution, is to gather the requirement of the client. And to gather the requirement of the client, that's a very long process. Or there are various ways, and we are not going to dive into that because that will become a part of project management. We are not concerned with that. But after all these requirement gathering has been done, so during the requirement gathering, you have identified these are the problems that the users are facing. And what you do, you turn it into a statement. You turn it into a statement or break it down into the points, which needs to be solved. So after the problem statement or the requirement has been gathered, then you break it down. You break down your solution into clear objectives, and obviously who your target audience is. And depending on the objectives or the problems that have been gathered, you will be providing solution. So solution will be converted into what? Into the features, that the features that your solution will include. So like in this case, the features that we identified was that the system or this chatbot should be able to provide clear information about the admission policy. The system should be able to should provide clearly the full detailed information about the university and the colleges and so on. So these were some of the functional features that we identified, and obviously for these functional features to be implemented, there would be some non-functional features which would be hidden from the user, but these are also very essential. And so the non-functional part were also identified. Then you can see here this case diagram is there, and then according to the functions that you have figured out, these functions should be there, you then decide the tech stack that needs to be implemented, to achieve these objectives, or these features. So like here, since we are building the the chatbot, so to build this chatbot, obviously you would need some kind of programming language. So in the domain of AI and data science, you'll see that Python is a very popular language, because of the ease of use and the number of libraries and the frameworks which are present. So Python was identified as a programming language. Then your RASA framework, to do uh, your RASA framework for the NLP tasks. Then obviously the data collection and cleaning, from where the data sources will be collected, and how we would clean them up, or what kind of, like, to train a chatbot, you need a sample data, so that sample data would be what the responses and the intents, or the intent examples that have been already provided by the university, if they have in their database, like to the answer that they might have given to the previous inquirers, so that, then conversion of this intent, those intent identification needs to be done, and so on. RASA is a framework, which is used commonly for NLP task. So apart from again, while choosing a framework, why that particular framework chosen, that is again a topic of discussion. Like there are many frameworks out there, many libraries, but why a specific library should be chosen, that should be decided. We are not going to randomly choose anything. Any kind of framework that has been chosen should meet the requirement of the features, that you need to implement. If it doesn't meet that criteria, then that is not good enough. There might be many constraints as well, depending on like what budget the client is giving. So some frameworks, they are free, they are open source, so but they might lack some features. So there could be other very sophisticated libraries or frameworks like your TensorFlow, but those might not be required. Those might not be required because that will increase the that would increase the technical specifications that need to be required on the system on which this whole project would be deployed. So you have to keep a lot of balances in check. So that, so here RASA was decided we will be building on this. Then obviously the whole process, key intent identification, how we are going to do that, then entity extraction, and the whole pipeline is first discussed. And then on this, to manage the dialogue, what library or what tech stack would be used, what dialogue model would be used, and so on. So all these things are need to be considered. And when after all these things are considered, again, when you will be making some project, you would have some kind of assumptions, and so you have to do analysis of that as well. Like while making the project, deploying the while making the solution, have you made any assumptions? So that needs to be taken care of, because sometimes it may happen, like suppose if you have made a mobile app, for user, you have made an Android mobile app for someone, but for some client, but let's say their target audience, majority of them, they use iOS, they use Apple devices. So your so your app is not going to be worthy for them. Or maybe you have assumed that the users would be always connected to the internet, but it may happen that the people who the end users are, they might be living in remote areas, so the network would not be so consistent. So you have to you have to think of these assumptions that you are making. Then again, in your project, you should make the risk assessment, because unless you make the risk assessment, you will not be able to you will not have any strategy or a plan. Like suppose if such thing occurs, what we will do to intervene. So risk assessment is done. Then then the last one, the factors that may affect the project, and that would be like from management side to the financial side, or from the client side, what are the kind of challenges that you can face, and so on. Acha, so what we'll be focusing basically in this internship, will be this tech stack. Like you have the business problem clear, that problem will be explained to you by the mentor. Then uh, what features that needs to be present in that particular project and in that solution, that will be explained, and the tech stack which will be required to build that project, and then you will be trained on these things, these tech requirements, and you will be given the content where you can learn, practice, and get ready, and then make a demo project along, or make a live project or demo project along in the under the guidance of your mentor, they might be helping you out, they would be showing like how these things are implemented, they will train you, and then in the end, after you have given your assignment and you have made your major project, you will have to implement, you will have to create your solution end to end, with the things, or with the uh, with the knowledge that you have gathered, and you have to make this project end to end, and that will be the end of your internship, after you have successfully built your solution and presented it, and you have and obviously you have satisfied your mentor or the expert. If they are satisfied, that will be very that will be the end of the training, and then you will be given your certificates. Okay, so acha, one thing, in this session we are not going to discuss about the technical part, वो जो है आप लोग जब पढ़ोगे, when you will be learning, we will be discussing that there, so like if we dive into this NLP part, like what is intent, that will take another hour, so we are not doing that. That is not the agenda of this meeting. This meeting was just to give you a taste of like these are the things that you would be making, and what steps you need to follow, so that, so to know further, like what these tech stacks are, or if you have any question, you can definitely mail me, and I will share my email ID at the end. You can mail me, I'll respond to you all. Okay. So okay, that is all from my side, and I'm ready to take some questions if you have any. So guys, if you have any question, please type in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to respond. So acha, somebody is asking what is the time period for all of this. So the duration will be ranging between 30 days to 45 days. Okay, depending on technology that you have chosen or the kind of project that you have. Okay, so that will be the time duration. When is the assessment? Okay, so the first step, the first step that you have to do, like this, what I understand from Meghna is that you are asking about the screening test. Am I correct? Okay, so this is screening test. Tentatively, it will be held on next Sunday. So the date is 5th of March. It's tentative. It might change. But it will be communicated. This is a tentative date. But it will be conducted on Sunday in the coming week. Okay. So another question is, what is difference between pip and docker? Okay, again, I'm not answering that. You just mail me and I'll definitely respond later on. So do we get stipend after finishing the internship? See, that will right now we are not offering any stipend, but if your performance is good enough, if you qualify a given threshold, then and if the industry partners they assess that you have done good work, then it might, but right now we are not promising any stipend, and okay. So is the internship project any country restriction? Right now I'm doing master. No, it doesn't matter where you are, because these use cases, the tech stack is going to be same everywhere. You'll find similar problems in various countries as well. If you're working, let's say suppose in edtech, in a university, every university gets overwhelmed. So these problems are universal. And our objective is to learn how the technology that we are learning is implemented in the real world. So this internship will be giving a taste of that. So that is the main objective that we need to achieve. So can I get PDF for okay? Okay, Prakash, I hope I answered your question. You can do from wherever you are. And it's an online internship. So geography doesn't matter, neither the concepts. So okay. Next question is, can I get the PDF for this project? Okay, these two images and this PDF will share in the WhatsApp group. You know, at the end of the session, I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. Don't worry. So ma'am told she would post my offer letter, but I don't get. For that, you have to first go through the go through the screening process, and if you qualify, then you will be getting it. So first you prepare for the screening test. If you qualify, you will definitely get the offer letter. Is the mentorship paid? So right now, see, since we started this, this some internship, we got very overwhelming response. We have right now, let me tell you the numbers. Right now, we have about 700 opportunities for free, and the number of participants or the number of people who have shown their interest is like it's more than 15,000 at the moment. So because of that, we have to filter them down, and we have to filter them. And so if you qualify, if you come in, so based on the merit, and this free internship will be based on the merit. So if you qualify and you get in the top 700 or 500, whatever number, not whatever, to be exact, it's 700 at the moment. And we are trying to get more opportunities for free. How many will be there, that I cannot give you the exact number, but we are trying to get 500 more opportunities. So okay, so my suggestion would be, instead of worrying about whether it is paid internship or not, first give it a try. Prepare for the screening test, and then let's see. you know so okay, what will be asked in the screening test? The questions will be of purely technical nature, and they will be depending on your they will be dependent on your level. Like if you are a beginner, your question paper would be according to that, and they will be specific to the domain that you have chosen. Like somebody has chosen, let's say, full stack, then the questions that they will have to pass, the questions that will be getting in the screening test will be related to the full stack development, specifically the MERN stack. And let's say if you are applying for data science or AIML, your questions will be from there. Okay. We'll get group projects or solo work. The minor project you have to complete solo, and in the capstone, you may work in the team. Okay. A team of 2 or 3 people at most. Okay, not more than that. But if you want, you okay, then is there a maximum number of people required for the internship? Ose, I didn't get your question. What is the minimum marks required to qualify the screening test? That will be decided on the go. That will be decided after. Basically, we have to prepare the merit. So no threshold has been decided at the moment. So basically, it will be dependent on the performance of the whole group. So if the whole group performs very well, most majority perform do the paper well, then obviously the cutoff will be higher. And if they do not, maybe, so then in that case, it may go low as well. Acha, just 1 second now. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So, okay, let's see. So I think I answered about the selection criteria. There's no threshold. It will be decided on the go, depending on the performance of the people, you know, depending on the overall performance. Then date of screening, I think I answered. It will be next week, on Sunday. And then next question, screening test is free? Yes, screening test is not paid, so that is free. Does the screening test cover technical skills? If so, what will a beginner in the field do? Just go through the basics, like in AIML. Obviously, if you are opting for AIML, it will be expected from you that you know the fundamentals of statistics, and the fundamentals of programming, or again, like some linear algebra, and you should be familiar with that, that that's all, you know. But suppose if somebody say that they are advanced users, they are at advanced level, that implies they have done some projects in the beginning, you know they must have done it before. So obviously the questions would be dependent on that, so for advanced user, the questions more would be like could be from the framework, or could be coding related and so on. Okay. Is it restricted only to India? uh, no, you know at the moment, no. You can apply from anywhere. It's online. you know what's the minimum works to acha, I think, yeah, I already answered that. Then will MCQ questions be based on coding or theoretical? Some questions will be from the coding, some questions would be theoretical. It would be a mix, and the coding questions would also would not be would be dependent, whether you're getting the theoretical or the coding question. The level will be according to your interest, will be according to your level that you have mentioned. Like if you are a beginner, the questions would be according the level of the questions would be according to that. you know so my mail ID, I'll share it in the group. Don't worry. So you can reach me out on rishu.lnb@gmail.com. I think I've typed in the chat box as well. You can see. And there's no, okay, let me see. Okay, Priyanka is all levels of understanding. Beginner will have complete the same time. Uh, again, the amount of time that will be required, will be similar. If you're a beginner, maybe you'll end your internship in 45 days. If you're an advanced user, you can complete it in 30 days. But the minimum amount of time is 30 days. Is there any hidden fee in the mentorship? No, no hidden fees. Right now, if you qualify, it's free. It's completely free. There's no registration fee. No, there is no pre-registration fee or anything. Okay. So is there any registration fee for this? Okay, this is a common question. So there is, let me clarify again. There's no fee for the screening test. You just fill out your form, and be present on the day when when your examination will be there. Just we expect that you come on time. That's all. Okay. You have to register and be a little be punctual. That's all. That is what you need to pay. What date and time will be having the exam? Okay, so date tentatively is 5th of March, and the exam will be conducted in two slots, one during the day and one during the evening. You can choose your slot according to your comfort. During the day, it will be tentatively held from 10 a.m. in the morning, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And in the evening from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. So between these two slots, you can choose according to your comfort, whenever you're comfortable. So will give us a coupon code. Then what's the date for test? I think I answered. I've opted for AMA. Can I change the field now? Uh, For now, okay, suppose if you have filled the AI ML and you want to change, and just contact on the group and contact on the support, just mail on the support ID that have been provided, you know, I think support at learnandbuild.in, and just email on that, okay, or message in the group. Excuse me, I was late for the point due to time difference. There any internship fee? No, what will the internship system like? Okay, I think we have discussed that in detail. I'll send you. We'll share the steps, the graphics, and the PDF. For you all to see. Or you can access this recording as well later on YouTube. Okay, let's go through it. In times of how to attend the exam, it will be held online. The link will be provided. Everything will be intimated to you. Just just keep looking, be active in your mailbox and the groups. Keep looking out for the messages. Okay. After the screening test, will there be any further round? We will see that. Like suppose if for 700 opportunities, let's say if 1,000 people qualify, then obviously we'll have to keep. So, but right now, we are not thinking of keeping any further rounds. The criteria is like the top 700 people they will get. Should we install a webcam? No, not required. When result will be declared, and result will be declared very soon after all the students have given their exam. Like suppose if on Sunday, if on 5th of March, they are all the examination for all the slots are completed, then within a day or two we'll release the result. And your result will you will get your result in your email as well. You can see it there. You are, Prateek is asking, I'm a pursuing student, can I get leave on exam day? Yeah, sure. But not for like 15 days. My exams are going to happen for 15 days, and my internship is also happening in the same period, so I won't be present. No, if for a day or two, it's okay. Because I can, no, you don't have to, you don't need a you don't need to buy a webcam, Karthikeyan. Okay. Yes, Mansi. The test would be multiple choice question based, and it will be MCQ. Okay. So do we have any more questions? If you have, please ask. And yes, negative marking. Yes, that will be the criteria, and every detail will be shared with you all in due time. But yes, obviously negative marking would be there. Where you have to choose a domain of interest while filling the form. You must have filled now while registering for this. So okay, so I think I answered most of your questions. For data, okay, Mohammed is asking, data science student, what kind of question should we expect? I think I just answered that a few minutes before. Again, for data science, if you're a beginner, you can expect questions from the theory, and the topics that you might need to cover. It could be they would be ranging from mathematics or statistics, and a little bit of programming. Programming, not any particular language, but will be measuring your problem solving ability. So like suppose some pseudocode is there, or some problem statement is there, whether you can break it down and write a pseudocode for it or not. Questions would be like that. Okay. Yeah, if you don't qualify, it doesn't mean that you are rejected. It doesn't mean you are rejected. But what it would mean basically is like you are not, you won't be eligible for the free internship. That's all. Okay. But if more opportunities come, if we are able to provide if we are able to secure more industry partners, and if we are able to get more opportunities and projects from them, which we are actually working on at the moment, then you can appear for the screening test later on as well, and if you do well, obviously, you can secure it there as well. you know what is the average time for MCQ? It will be for 30 minutes. 30 minutes and approximately 25 to 30 questions, maximum 30 questions. For beginners or for any level, the the एक second, just Dilip is asking, what if we are beginner level, then will you provide some classes? Yes, every week you will be given the recorded content, and on Saturdays and Sunday you'll have a live session with the mentors, where you can ask your doubt, you know, and if possible, we'll try to provide classes in during the weekdays as well. I'm not making any promise on that for the weekdays, and at the moment I'm not promising anything on the weekdays, but on the weekend you will have live classes, and for the rest of the week, we will be releasing content every day, week wise. So you will have to you can learn it, do the questions there, so that we can measure whether you have learned the topics or not, and then you will be making some project with the under the guidance of the mentor, and you can interact with them live every Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Again, the time will be okay. Live class date time. What do you mean date time? Are you asking for the time, specific time of day? So if that's the question, then that will be dependent. That is a tentatively we can say it will be during the evening. You know. Yes, if you qualify for the test, and if you come, if you meet the criteria for the free internship, we'll be sending you the offer letters, along with your results. Okay, Dilip. Okay, I hope I answered all your queries, and if you have any more queries, then feel free to reach out to us. You can ask your doubts in your WhatsApp groups, or you can mail us, or you can call us as well. So that will be all that will be all, guys. So acha, last question. We'll be taking the actually two. Kevin is asking and Mohammed. So do you have only one shot at the screen test? Yes. For like suppose you have your test on, you have registered for the beginner level in AI, suppose, so you have one shot for this period of time. And if we come up with more opportunities for free internships, then that will be the second you will have to fill. You will be sending the registration forms again, then you can register it there, you can register then, and you can give the exam again. But for one registration at the moment, you will have only one attempt. Okay. Acha, the syllabus or the topics that will be coming, that you might need to prepare, we will be sharing that in your groups as well. Tomorrow we'll share it, what topics you need to prepare for your exam, for your screening test, so you can go through it, and then you can appear for the exam. Because this is a repetitive question that I'm seeing. Many people have this query, like what would be the syllabus or what are the topics that we need to study. Okay, so will ensure that these details are shared with you as soon as possible, probably by tomorrow evening. Okay. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we'll be ending the session. And you have to take your exam on the Android or laptop, somebody is asking. So you can download our app, and you can appear for the exam there as well. Otherwise, if you just have a laptop, you can apply. If you have a laptop, you can take it from there, but preferably use the Android phone, because that's everyone has that, so Prakash is asking, I'm not in any group right now. Okay, so you must have received a mail to join the WhatsApp group. Just check on the link. Okay. Okay. So, okay, guys. So thank you all for your time. We'll be ending the session, and I hope I answered all your queries and gave you an overview what to expect in this internship, what you will be doing, what kind of projects you will be building, and how you will be building. So thank you for your time, guys. Thank you. Yeah. See you all. Bye.